I'm Phil Pritcher, and I'm 62 years old, and I'm a safety engineer. As part of my work, I have to do a lot of traveling, a lot of walking, a lot of standing and things like that, simply because I have to observe all kinds of different manufacturing operations, construction, that kind of stuff. So walking and standing are very important to me. And recently I was playing basketball, trying to stay fit, and developed a little bit of a problem when I reached down to pick up the basketball, and really debilitated me. Debilitated me to the point where I could not walk, could not stand, could not work. So I had to do something. I went to the orthopedist, find out what was going on, and basically they told me they'd probably have to take an MRI and decide how to proceed, and that surgery was a possibility, that kind of thing. And I didn't want to go there. I didn't want to do surgery. I didn't want to spend a whole lot of time taking painkillers, that kind of thing. So my wife had been to the company prior to WellSource, what became WellSource, and worked with you for her back pain, and she had great success. When I started having these problems, she said, "We need to go see WellSource, because they can fix you up." And being an engineer and understanding structural issues and things like that, the whole idea of having a healthy spine made sense to me. If you don't have a good structure and if you don't have a good wiring system, those are the kinds of things that engineers think about, then the machine's not going to function. So I felt like as far as treatment was concerned, it was really the only way to go. So we came to see you, and I've been doing it now for about, I don't know, a little over 2 weeks, something like that, which is not really a very long time, because this occurred over 2 months ago, and I've been pretty much in chronic pain the entire time. Well, over the course of the 2-week treatment, I'm now in a position where I can, as a matter of fact, I did it yesterday. I walked over a mile, no problem, did not have to sit, did not have to rest, and there was no pain. I was able to stand over an hour, and there was no pain, and I didn't have to sit. So I have to think that what's been done here has been very successful in a relatively short period of time, and I'm very pleased. So what can I say? Well, for one thing, I don't like invasive procedures. My feeling has always been, if you can stay out of the body and treat the problems, then you're way better off when you start going in. Because you start going in, you open the door to a lot of problems, that kind of thing. So that was one of the reasons, and the other reason was that what I'd been hearing on the internet and even on news programs, there was one that I saw that coincidentally came on right after I'd hurt myself, which was talking exactly about what I had. And they said that the results from surgery aren't that great. A lot of people, they have surgery and they don't get any relief. As a matter of fact, they have more pain. Even the ones that did have success, usually it wasn't complete success. It was just partial success, and also it could interfere with your range of motion, that kind of thing, and cause other problems. I felt like I had less of a chance of having adverse consequences with this course of treatment than I would have had with surgery, big time. Mm-hmm. So that's why I didn't want to go there. I'll back up a little bit, and I'll just say that when I went to the orthopedist, they said that I had some sort of degenerative disc disease, but they couldn't tell until more diagnostics were done. They did not take any x-rays or MRIs. They wanted to go straight to the MRI. Then I came here, and basically what you showed me was that I had degeneration of the spine over a period of time in my upper spine, in the neck, and in the lower spine where the discs were being compressed. And it doesn't take an engineer to know that when that kind of gravity starts working on your body, it's not going to go the other way unless you do something about it. And structurally speaking, it makes sense. It's just basically your spine is pancaking due to the gravity and due to the weight of your body on it over time. So kind of seemed to me like pretty obvious that if you could release the pressure on the joints in there, that it would improve the situation as far as the nerves are concerned, because there wouldn't be as much pressure on the nerves. So that made sense to me as an engineer, and so that's why I went with that course of treatment, because I thought it would work, and it did. Well, if I leave my spine the way it is, it's not in the position it needs to be. That's very, very clear. As a matter of fact, you and I talked about it the other day when I came in. I do training for back safety because I'm a safety engineer, and probably the biggest cost associated with workplace injuries is back injuries and the treatment associated with it. It's a huge cost. So, you know, I understood the concept to begin with, and then you know, the idea of unpancaking, basically, you know, relieving the pressure on the discs. You know, if you do that, they're not going to bulge out and that kind of thing, so they're not going to impact your nerves. So, you know, I knew I had a nerve situation there, and you know, from a physical standpoint, from an actual structural standpoint, I had to get that pressure off of those nerves. Now, one of the things that I've heard about chiropractic is it do a great job of getting the pressure off the nerves and things like that, but the body doesn't stay in that position. So we talked about the fact that you have to work and condition your body to, over time, stay in that position, and that's, you know, what I feel that I need to do, because once again, structurally speaking, it doesn't help you much if you make a short-term correction and then it reverts to what it was before. You know, so that's why I feel, you know, I understand that it takes work to reform your body, basically, and so, you know, that's why I'm good with the idea of spending time basically reconfiguring the spine so this is the way it's supposed to be. Because, well, 40, 50 years it's taken for me to get my spine in this position now. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it back in position in a week. Yeah, you know, probably one of the biggest knocks I've heard is that you do adjustments. You feel good, but you don't feel good that long, and then, you know, over time, if you don't reinforce that, let me put it that way, then it's going to revert. But if you do reinforce it, it's like physical therapy. You do physical therapy to build up the muscles so that you can, you know, overcome problems that are developed with the body. Well, I kind of see this as a marriage of chiropractic and physical therapy. And the physical therapy is designed to basically set what you're trying to do with the adjustments. And quite frankly, I don't know whether y'all do a great sales job or what, but it makes total sense. As a matter of fact, it almost seems like chiropractic without the physical therapy is only half the job. Well, you know, I've had good experiences at other doctors. You know, most of the people that I have encountered at doctors' offices are caring people, and they want to make sure that that I'm treated correctly, and that you know, that I feel better when I leave. Let me put it that way. But y'all are a cut above here. There's no doubt about it. The whole time I'm here, there's somebody asking me how I'm doing and making sure that I'm doing the things that I'm supposed to be doing correctly, you know, those kinds of things. And you know, the level of personal attention is definitely higher. You know, worst experiences I've had at other doctors is, you know, they bring me in and they make me wait for 45 minutes out in the waiting room, then they bring me into a small room and let me wait for another hour. And I don't see anybody. You know, when the people do come to see me, they're cordial and all that kind of stuff, but they just seem like they've got other things on their mind. When you're here, it feels like the people that are working with you, their attention is completely on you. Yes, they have to move to other people, but when they're talking to you and working with you, their attention is on you, and that feels good. Okay. Well, my approach has always been to evaluate what the options are and then prioritize them. And I started doing, when I went to the orthopedist, I was in pain, let me tell you. So that was just the first thing I thought of to do, and you know, find out, is this a muscle problem, is this a nerve problem, you know, that kind of thing. But so that's why I went to the orthopedist first. But pretty much the way I had lined it up for this particular situation would be the orthopedist, see what they had to say, and to see you guys. And if that didn't work, maybe some sort of epidural injection, and then if that didn't work, maybe we'll look at an MRI and see what's going on. So y'all were my second choice, but only because I was in such pain, and you know, after my experience here, y'all would be my first choice.